please, be kind to me. I know my husband Hank and I weren't exactly parents of the year, and I know this isn't technically my fight, but my family is completely imploding. It all started a couple of weekends ago when our younger son, Liam, and his wife Chloe went away to a concert out of town. Hank and I kept our granddaughter, Ella, and it was pure bliss, though they did video call us like 10 times on Saturday. Saturday evening, our oldest son, Ethan, and his fiancée, Veronica, asked us to go out to dinner. We replied that we could go somewhere close, but we had to be back by 8 to put Ella down, or they could just come over, we'd order takeout, and chill here. They replied after I got back from church. Ethan simply texted, "We thought of a better spot. Forget it." A little rude, but whatever, I let it go. Everyone got home safely, but Ethan and Veronica skipped our traditional Sunday dinner the following day. Then a few days ago, when I was home with Chloe and Ella, Ethan and Veronica popped over to pick up some papers. Ethan and Ella have a thing. He walks in and says, "Ring, ring," and she yells, "Hello!" And then he scoops her up, smothering her with kisses. But this time, he just walked right past her like she was furniture. Ella ran up, arms open, screaming, "Hello!" And he just strolled by. They grabbed what they needed and left, and I was stunned. I asked Chloe, "Should I tell Liam?" She muttered that maybe I shouldn't. But how can you be such a jerk to your own niece, who is, by the way, his goddaughter, just because you're mad at her dad? This wasn't just a conflict. It was public, cold punishment. But yesterday, the real nightmare happened. I was out grocery shopping. I repeat, I was not there, but apparently, Ethan stopped by to drop something off for Hank. My husband was in the yard, near the garage, with Liam and Ella. An argument flared up between Ethan and Liam, and it became physical. Hank says Ethan initiated the fight, but he can't recall the details because his only focus was grabbing Ella and whisking her into a safe spot. When he came back, it seemed to be over, no one was hurt, but they were still screaming at each other. Hank ordered Ethan to get out, and he sent Liam to the basement to cool off. I asked Hank, "What started this circus?" He shrugged, "I don't know, it just blew up so fast. I haven't seen him that shaken up in years." We don't know how to move forward, but finally, I agree with all of you. This is Liam and Ethan's problem to fix. I can't blame myself, and even worse, I can't fix it. Hank and I told Ethan that he is no longer welcome in our house. In response, he started yelling furiously that we were taking Liam's side. I told him, "Listen, you attacked your brother in front of his child. They both deserve to feel safe. Also, Ethan works for Hank's company. My husband was absolutely within his rights to require him to take a drug test. His behavior was erratic. As for the wedding, I had no idea what to do. Hank said we should just give them the money we promised and be done with it. It breaks my heart, but maybe that's the only way out. Liam only told me a few times that we just need to hold out until the wedding, and then maybe it'll all somehow work out. I'm not sure he even believes those fairy tales. I'm sick to my stomach over all of this. I'm trying to carve out time to spend with our middle son, Noah. I feel so bad that he's caught in the middle of this chaos. He's our dramatically sterile son, and I don't want him to think we've forgotten about him."
Update: the whole truth is out. I posted before about how I didn't want to pay for the rehearsal dinner because I can't stand his fiancée. This is the last post, I promise. I am completely devastated by this situation. In the last post, I mentioned that Hank and I demanded the full truth from Liam. Chloe was at work, Liam had put Ella to bed, and we were alone. He wiggled and squirmed until I lost it. Listen closely. You are living in my house, and now you fought your brother. If you don't lay out what's happening, your daughter can stay, but you and Chloe will be finding another place to keep your secrets. He got angry but didn't answer and went to bed. I told Hank I was dead serious, and he said he didn't know what else we could do. Fortunately, the next morning, Liam came down and spilled everything. From his perspective. The short version is that on Independence Day, we had fireworks, so Noah, his girlfriend Maya, Ethan, and Veronica all came over. We have plenty of room for everyone to crash, and since Maya's dog was at her parents', everyone drank a little too much and stayed the night. When Hank and I were asleep, they were still hanging out. Noah and Chloe went out for a walk and smoked some pot. I'm not saying I approve, but it's legal in our state, and I heard them joking about it because Chloe doesn't drink but sometimes doesn't mind a hit. The only one completely sober was Ethan, but he had recently had laser eye surgery, couldn't drive at night, and was generally a little out of sorts. And then, Veronica went ballistic when she found out about the marijuana and started yelling at Chloe. She claimed she is a social worker and that because Liam was drinking, Chloe was endangering the child. She even brought up some old, high-profile case about a missing child and just absolutely tore Chloe apart. Chloe ran off crying, and Liam started fighting with Veronica. He confessed that everything devolved into utter garbage. Liam told Veronica exactly what he thought about her constant criticism of his wife. Veronica retorted that she was just speaking the truth, and it was hilarious that they called themselves married since they only got married because of the pregnancy and the insurance, and they'd be divorced in a couple of years anyway. Liam hit below the belt, saying she was just bitter because she was in her 30s and still wasn't married. This was mean because her previous fiancé cheated on her with her friend. Veronica replied that Liam and Ella should be ashamed to show up at their wedding because having a kid that young sucks, and Ella would be better off if she were adopted by a normal family. Liam said if she was so ashamed, then his family could just not come at all. He went to bed.
Ethan went after him, pleading with him not to back out of being the best man. He said everyone said too much, and he promised Veronica wouldn't call Child Protective Services. But Liam was firm. He wouldn't be the best man, and his wife and daughter would never be alone with Veronica until she apologized. That's when Ethan started pressuring Chloe. She should stay home with her daughter during the reception, and she shouldn't spend money on anything that didn't involve Ella. Chloe was afraid of further conflict and agreed. Liam tried to reassure her that she was safe, but she was terrified. Of course, I asked Liam why he hadn't said anything. How often does she smoke? He laughed. Maybe 2 or 3 times a month, Mom. It's no big deal. He said Chloe was horribly embarrassed and especially didn't want Hank and me to know about it. I wanted to hear the other sons' versions. Noah agreed to meet with us. His version was nearly identical, but even worse because he and Maya stayed outside and continued arguing with Veronica. I know you think I forget about Noah, but he's my dramatically sterile son who never causes trouble. I asked him if he thought Ella was ever neglected or if Liam or Chloe had a problem. He firmly said no. He thought Ethan and Veronica had just gone crazy and were looking for drama. It turns out that after Liam left, Veronica continued her tirade, claiming Chloe flirted with Ethan because he had an emoji next to her name in his phone. I confirm, it was a car icon because before Ethan got his license back, Chloe drove him everywhere, and they joked that she was his Uber. She also stated that she wouldn't allow me to sit with her future children if Ella was there because, due to her parents' young age, she would be a bad influence. Noah said he and Maya also wanted to drop out of the wedding, but Liam begged him to stay. Noah added that he tried to talk to Ethan, but thinks Ethan is more at fault than anyone because he indulged her craziness. We were emotionally drained and called Ethan over. He kept dodging the direct question. We told him we knew what his brothers told us and asked if it was true, giving him a chance. He didn't deny it. Instead, he figured we already knew everything and that Liam had asked us not to give them the wedding money if Chloe wasn't invited, which was what was really ticking him off. I asked, "Ethan, do you believe Chloe is neglecting Ella? I need to know what's going on with my granddaughter." He dodged again. "See, you only care about Liam and his kid." Hank, losing patience, asked if Ethan could take a drug test right now because his speech was erratic. Ethan was deeply offended. He replied that the only person who needed to be tested was Chloe, and he stormed out. But the next day, he submitted confirmation that he took a test at our lab and it came back clean. Later in the week, he submitted his resignation. He took a job with our main competitor. Hank was devastated. He believes it was a planned move. He paid him his severance.
The fatal mistake. During all of this, Hank and I started thinking about how to move forward. We already knew they had to figure it out themselves. We were leaning toward Liam and Chloe as it all seemed like a wild, months-long hyperreaction from Veronica. We thought about therapy, about a conversation. But on Tuesday, the decision was made for us. It was probably the worst day of our lives. I was home with Ella and Chloe when a social worker from the County Family Protection Services showed up. Based on an anonymous tip, we were all interviewed and the house was inspected. The worker was nice, said she saw no reason for further action, but left informational materials. Liam and Chloe were in complete shock. They literally clung to Ella as if someone was about to rip her from their arms. Even Ella sees their sadness. Chloe constantly assured me she only smoked on weekends and never when Ella was awake. I said I believed her. She kept offering to take a test. And even if she smoked every day, no one would take a happy, healthy child away. But she doesn't believe me. Liam texted Ethan. He refuses to meet with him in person, asking if he or Veronica filed the report. Ethan replied, "It doesn't matter." Liam texted back, "You are dead to me," and blocked him. Maya dropped out of the wedding. Noah remained as a groomsman only for the ceremony. He won't go to the reception or give a toast. He wants to drop out completely, but Ethan begged him to stay, not to create more drama. Noah said he worries they might turn everything against him and try to ruin his life. Hank and I are absolutely shattered. We told Ethan, "We will always love you, but we cannot support you or your marriage after your fiancé, wasted social service resources for revenge on your brother." We told him to come and pick up his remaining things when Liam and his family weren't home. We couldn't help ourselves and asked him again, "Ethan, did you really believe Ella was in danger?" He replied that it didn't matter what he thought, we would always protect Liam, and Liam would get over it when things settle down. I, not holding back, said, "No, he won't get over it. You will likely never see your brother and niece again." I don't know if it only just hit him, but he backtracked and asked us to tell Liam to call him. We refused. He became furious, desperate, and then blamed us, saying it was our fault because we babied Liam. I yelled that he should remember that if it weren't for us, he'd still be living here, and that he lived here longer than Liam. He and Hank started arguing, and Ethan declared that he will create his own family and doesn't need us, blaming us for all his problems. I was done. I told him to get out if he couldn't say anything concrete. He didn't ask about the money, but I already had it in mind to set it aside in case we needed a lawyer because of his eccentricities. I know it would be easier to blame Veronica, and it is very difficult because I see her toxic influence. But
The flower shop encounter, 2.5 weeks later. Liam is away at a bachelor party and we are the foursome again. I couldn't stand that nursery rhyme anymore, so yesterday I sent Chloe and Ella to the Sunrise Flower Boutique for some fall chrysanthemums. And that's where Ethan cornered Chloe and started yelling at her, saying nasty things about Liam, as if Chloe had no reason to be mad at him. He told her she should leave Liam, calling him a jerk,
and said he was going to get the tattoo they got together removed. Chloe didn't want to tell Liam because she knew how furious he would be. I told her you can't keep secrets like that. Though I don't know who to believe myself anymore. Oh, but we have some good news. Noah and Maya bought a house. And the best part? It's only a 10-minute walk from us. The wedding epilogue and life beyond. Almost 2 months later. I tried posting this in another subreddit and got yelled at. Fine, let it stay here. Thank you for listening to me. This is finally my last post. The wedding was last week. I didn't go. The weather was bad, and I went with my friends to a rally against the policy of the head of state administration instead. Our town was out in force, and I felt better. About a week before the wedding, Ethan contacted me, Hank, and Liam, begging us to change our minds and come. He sounded better than usual and said he didn't want something to happen that couldn't be undone. Liam and Chloe had already planned a trip with Ella to the Rocky Canyon Mountains that weekend. Liam didn't respond to Ethan, but he told me, "I don't blame you if you go, I won't know." I don't think he was being manipulative. I love Ethan and want him to be happy. But I don't know whether it was stress or something else, but the dress I was going to wear was too big for me. Isn't it funny that this was the final excuse for me not to go? Noah said everything went fine. He was only at the ceremony. Some of our relatives came, but none from abroad. Hank doesn't want them coming here anytime soon. And that's so sad. We always host them for Christmas, and this year will be so lonely. Noah said that at the wedding, there was talk of Ethan and Veronica moving to the Sunbelt territory, where her family lives. The owner of the company Ethan left for, who the kids call Hank's arch nemesis, talked about opening a branch in the South. It would make sense. I don't want to sound rude, but a friend of mine from my prayer group who is from there says it's a very conservative and tense place. I'm very nervous about it. We have good news. Noah and Maya closed on their house. Hank and Liam are helping them with the renovations almost every night. Noah wants to propose, and he asked me to go ring shopping with him. I offered him family jewels or money. Life is too short to be stingy. Chloe can finish her studies a semester early this spring. Unfortunately, because of that and because of Noah's house, Liam has become insistent that it's time for them to move out. I know they are adults, but I want them to stay so badly. I don't think they'll like renting. We have an elderly couple here who want to move in with their daughter, but don't want to sell their house to a corporation. I suggested Hank buy it as an investment and rent it to Liam, but he said he'd send me to stage mom jail and that a crummy rental won't kill them. I just know that living in this house constantly reminds Liam and Chloe and Ella of Ethan and all of this.